For thousands of years, Krampus came not to reward, but to punish.
Then you put the cross on the door to protect yourself from Krampus, right?
I don't know if it's a demon or a devil or just some hungry thing from some dark place in time.
Deep within the darkest shadows of the Austrian Alps, a tale unfolds that crosses the boundaries of the Christmas season and enters into the grotesque. As the world revels in the spirit of giving, a narrative steeped in historical facts and intriguing connections to the mysterious, this is the fascinating and enigmatic account of Krampus, the Christmas demon whose historical roots intersect with the shadowy history of the biblical Nephilim. In this End Times Productions special report, we will examine the link between folklore and fact and peer into the darkest depths of reality. Krampus's historical presence dates back centuries, firmly rooted in the traditions of the Alpine region. Krampusnacht, observed on December 5th, the eve of St. Nicholas Day, holds historical significance. While Santa Claus rewards virtuous children with gifts, Krampus descends upon the population, targeting children who sometimes disappear into the night, never to be seen again. His grotesque visage, with twisted horns and cloven hooves, reflects historical depictions of otherworldly beings. Could Krampus be a historical manifestation of demonic beings as mentioned in ancient texts? The eerie presence of Krampus transcends Krampusnacht alone. Throughout the historical winter months, reports emerge of strange occurrences in these villages. Cryptic symbols etched into the snow, eerie tracks leading into the depths of the forest, and chilling howls that pierce the dead silence of the cold winter night. Locals recount historical sightings, evoking tales of glowing eyes and shadowy figures lurking just beyond the edge of sight where the light refuses to shine. Scholars and researchers have documented Krampus traditions and their historical context in various academic studies and publications. These sources offer insights into the historical and cultural aspects of Krampus. From the website earthstories.com. Quote, St. Nicholas, with his long white beard, rewards the well-behaved with gifts each year on 6th December. His scary counterpart, Krampus, wears fur, horns, and a hand-carved mask with a lolling tongue. He comes to warn and punish naughty children. It's the snow-swept Alps that Krampus himself arose. The arrival of the Perchten, Krampus, traditionally marks the start of winter in Tyrol. In Central and Eastern Alpine folklore, St. Nicholas and Krampus bring presents to children who have been good throughout the year. Everyone knows, fürs Schlimme gibt's vom Krampusstrafe. St. Nikolaus belohnt das Brav. The Krampus punishes the wicked, St. Nicholas rewards the good. Krampus would stand in the background, looking menacing and terrifying. He was there to warn me to stay on good behavior the rest of the year. The Teufel, how it was also called in my home, was looking atrocious, covered in fur, with his wooden carved mask, long horns, bells, and chains. On his back, he would carry an empty bag or basket to stuff naughty children in and take them away. Tyrol is where the Krampus dwells. Traditionally, young men dress up as the Krampus in Tyrol, North and East Tyrol being part of Austria and the Tyrolean, a Austrian dialect. A speaking area of Italy, Trentino, Alto Adige, or South Tyrol. Alpine regions of Austria. Southern Bavaria, Germany, Switzerland and Slovenia also know the Krampus. In Italy also Valcanale in Tarvisio, Ugovica and Malborghetto in Friuli Venezia Giulia, and some areas of Belluno in Veneto reflect Alpine influence with Krampus traditions. Krampus is also found in parts of the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Croatia. During the first week of December, particularly on the evening of 5th December, the eve of St. Nicholas Day, Krampus troops roam the streets frightening with rusty chains and bells, or visit houses and inns with St. Nicholas. There are many names for Krampus, as well as different regional variations in portrayal and celebration. As with the distinct dialects and traditional costumes that characterize nearby valley communities, the historic obstacles involved in traversing the Alps focused and had preserved Krampus customs in their highly localized form. This regionalism affects every aspect of alpine folklore of the Krampus and St. Nicholas. Hand-carved wooden masks, heavy and elaborate dresses made of lamb and goatskin or fur and traditional willow or birch branches, brandished as weapons, are common features. Although he is, officially, the servant of Nicholas during the Krampuslauf, Krampus night, often the wild hunt can parade through villages and towns without the saint to dictate them. Etymology: Krampus. Krampus is not really an individual's name, but a class of devil. Pronunciation is Krampus. For the curious, since it's often asked, the correct plural for Krampus in German would not be the faux Latinate Krampi, but Krampusse. Krampus is understood to derive from the Middle German Krall, claw, or from the Bavarian Krampen, referring to something lifeless, dried out, or shriveled, the latter pointing to a connection between the Krampus and the spirits of dead. There are many names for Krampus. In East Tyrol and in older manuscripts, Klaubof is the preferred term. Also, Bartel or Bartel, Niglobartel, and Vubartel are used. Tyroleans may simply refer to him as the Teufel, dialect for devil, and similarly, Teufel, sometimes believing that the devil's name is unlucky to speak aloud. A circumlocution describing rather than naming might be used, like Gangirl or Gankerl, probably from gang or gate. A name which may also derive from the distinctive lope or hopping gait performers adopt. In the Bavarian foothills and the area around Salzburg, Austria, the preferred term is actually Kramperl. Pelzerbock or Pelsnickel is used in southern Germany, and Gumpinkel in Silesia. Hungary, he is Krampus, and in Switzerland, Schmutzli.
It's a demon.
The word Krampus gained wide usage in the late 19th and 20th century with the circulation of Krampus cards, and has only recently returned thanks to reprint and online use. The use of Krampus postcards emerged in Vienna and soon spread to other German-speaking cities through the introduction of the postal card in Austria-Hungary in 1897. People began to send each other red postcards in the weeks leading up to Christmas that depicted the Krampus, often with a short poem, humorous phrases, and the tagline, Gruß vom Krampus, greetings from Krampus. St. Nicholas, also called Nicholas of Bari or Nicholas of Myra, is one of the most popular saints commemorated in the Eastern and Western churches. The name derives from Syrian, Soche, Zaka, Zeka, victory, from Greek, Nikolaos, literally victory people, from Nike, victory, and Laos, people. Latin, Nicholas, from French. Nicholas, Nicholas, Saint Nicholas, or the Holy Nicholas, as it's rendered in German, goes by a variety of appellations. Sometimes he's simply the holy man, the good man, or the friend of children. He may also just go by Nicolo, an Austrian dialect rendering of Nicholas. Colloquial Old Nick, the devil, is attested from 1640s, evidently from the proper name, but for no certain reason. Nicholas's existence is not attested by any historical document, so nothing certain is known of his life, except that he was probably Bishop of Myra in the 4th century. Myra is in Anatolia, modern Demre, Turkey. The white-bearded St. Nicholas, dressed in splendid robes and complete with mitre and crozier, enters each house in order to fill the children's shoes with small gifts or bring presents in red sacks or plates of cookies, candies, nuts, apples, and oranges. St. Nicholas formed the basis for the figure known as Santa Claus, created in the 19th century from Dutch Sinterklaas, the bringer of gifts. St. Nicholas is almost always accompanied by a figure that can be interpreted as a tame devil, blackened and chained, carrying rod and sack. This sinister figure forms a counterpoint to the benevolent and friendly character of St. Nicholas, while one acts as a messenger from heaven. The Krampus is a representative from hell. The children are always rewarded by St. Nicholas, while his evil companion punishes the disobedient. Evil punishes evil, but is in the power of good, namely St. Nicholas. St. Nicholas and Krampus are usually together. The Krampus, or devil, will threaten the naughty and bad children and adults with a rod or take them away in a big chest on their backs. Despite that, the Krampus is a frightening creature with heavy chains and loud cowbells. He has to obey St. Nicholas. This fact symbolizes the good triumphing over the evil. Krampus, a descendant of ancient Perchten figures, Advent in Tyrol, is not so much the time of silence and reflection. Rather, it is filled with the noise and romp of the Perchten and similar wild figures. Perchten come for the Rauhnächten, rough nights, just before Christmas at the winter solstice on December 21st to January 6th, to drive out the winter and the old year. Belief in demons and magic gave them the power to banish the evil spirits of winter by ringing bells and wearing ghastly masks. Other features of Perchten parades, like beating with rods, have possibly to do with old fertility magic. St. Nicholas is closely associated with demons because he was known as an exorcist. The earliest surviving account of St. Nicholas is a hagiography, the lives of saints, written at some point between 814 and 842 AD by Michael the Archimandrite. There are multiple legends about St. Nicholas defeating and driving out demons. Sections 28 through 30 of the life of St. Nicholas of Myra describe St. Nicholas exorcising the demons that haunted the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. Throughout the rest of the work, the demons banished by St. Nicholas are described as continually trying to cause harm to him and hinder his work to spread the gospel. Near the end of the work, Nicholas is hailed as the most active banisher of demons. The villagers of Placoma asked Nicholas to rid a cypress tree of demons. To do so, Nicholas swung an axe, thereby frightening the demons away. St. Nicholas chopped down that tree, giving the demon no place to dwell. Note: the story comes from Simon the Metaphrast's Life of Nicholas that confused Nicholas of Myra and Nicholas of Sion, blending events of the two saints' lives into one. Through it has passed down into the Nicholas of Myra tradition. The story about St. Nicholas banishing the demons became famous during the Middle Ages. It is likely that this is how he and Krampus first became associated with each other. Another legend of St. Nicholas tells of a time when he was challenged by the devil. Nicholas was traveling along a lonely road between towns as part of the duties of his bishopric. His horse became bogged down in the mud of the road. The devil, seeing an opportunity to get the better of the holy man, appeared before him, demanding that Nicholas turn and flee. Nicholas stood fast and ordered the devil to lead his horse to town in the name of God. This the devil was forced to do, bound by the saint's faith. This explains why Krampus is depicted bound with chains and as a servant of St. Nicholas. The devil, whom St. Nicholas has overcome and gained mastery over, has now become Nicholas's slave, bound to him and bound to obey his words. The house visit. That St. Nicholas visits families and gives children presents is a recent custom. St. Nicholas plays, which used to be performed in farmhouses, are an old Tyrolean tradition. The house visits are geared toward children under 10 or 12, and though older teenagers may slip outdoors to run after the Krampus troops, ideally the whole family, including grandparents, aunts, and uncles, will await the visits. When the troop arrives at the house, St. Nicholas usually enters only with his basket carrier and angels. The Krampuses will wait outside, or perhaps come indoors, but remain out of sight in a hallway or behind the saint. Nicholas greets the family, introducing himself with a short poem, sometimes handed down from days gone by, but often written by the performer himself. Here is one, in loose translation, penned by Gastina Patrick Deisel. God's greetings all within this house. I'm friend to all, St. Nicholas. Have no fear, just look at me. No wild stranger here, you see. My coming marks the year's near end. This forest man, my basket tends. Deeds good and bad, we must review. With ringing bells comes Krampus too. What brings him joy brings terror to you. After his rhymed greeting, Nicholas may hand his staff to a chosen child or one of his angels and open his golden book to review what he knows of the children's behavior. He likely has just received a few whispered cues from parents as he enters, or the saint may simply question the children directly, and follow this with a few saintly remarks and encouragements. Now it is time for the children to recite. In the old days, this performance would have involved verses memorized from the Bible or catechism, or sing a hymn, but today more secular material may be used. The children awaiting gifts have been rehearsing for weeks. They recite prayers, poems, or sing songs. As a reward for trials of the Hausbesuch, immediately after their performance, kids receive a Nicholas sack, Nicholas Zackel, containing assorted treats, typically nuts, apples, mandarin, oranges, figs, dry fruit, candies, and chocolates, sometimes shaped like little Krampuses or Nikolauses. Dried fruits might be added, including the particularly old-fashioned buckhorns, Buchshörndl, a nickname for the vaguely horn-shaped, sweet-tasting dried pods of the carob tree, which children chew for hours. A related dried fruit creation is the Zwetschgen Krampus, a little figure of the Krampus crafted from prunes. Cookies or Lebkuchen, roughly gingerbread, may also be included and are sometimes baked fresh by the troop itself. Small Krampus-shaped breads and cookies are also created by commercial bakers and homemakers at this time of year. Each sack typically must be wrapped in a red cellophane and tied with string to which a bit of twig or some representation of the Krampus may be attached. Children who have been naughty are to receive a lump of coal instead of a gift. The coal I got was black, but made of sugar. Traditional figures of the Krampus troop. In most traditional regions of Tyrol, the Krampus troop is called a Krampuspass, or more often just Pass. The pass consists mostly of men in their late teens to early 40s. Each pass usually takes the name of a neighborhood, farmstead or family name, geographic feature, mountain, gorge or boulder, a community landmark, inn or brewery, or professional association or other club. Volunteer firefighting associations seem common. The Krampus in Alpine folklore. He goes by many names, Klaubauf, Krampel or Teufel, rather than Krampus. No troop would have less than 4 Krampuses, and more typically the number would hover around 6, though more might easily be present. Based on seniority or other outstanding merit, a Teufel, head devil, is usually appointed to be the first to enter and leave homes, and otherwise help Nicholas control his pack. Krampus come in many shapes and sizes. The costume consists of leather boots, a full bodysuit of leather and fur, leather or fur gloves, and leather belts with giant bells to make noise as the Krampus walks. Most wear also wooden masks, lolling snake-like tongues, with 2 to 4 animal horns. The Krampus attire can weigh up to 30 kilograms or 66 pounds.
Now, according to tradition, Krampus accompanies St. Nicholas on his midwinter rounds with the intent to steal boys and girls, putting them into a basket carried on his back, or he may decide to beat them with branches for being naughty. Maurice Bruce published a book on pre-Christian Alpine traditions in 1958, and he had this to say about the half-goat, half-demon entity. There seems to be little doubt as to the true identity, for in no other form is the full regalia of the horn god of the witches so well preserved. The birch, apart from its phallic significance, may have a connection with the initiation rites of certain witch covens, rites which entailed binding and scourging as a form of mock death. The chains could have been introduced in a Christian attempt to bind the devil, but again, they could be a remnant of pagan initiation rites. Many show the goat man in formal dress and a tuxedo-style cutaway formal coat and trousers, but with his usual horned goat face and always with his tongue extended. Now, this tongue out pose seems to be popular with ancient gods, whether they're Mayan, Hindu, Babylonian, Egyptian, Greek, or even British. For some reason, the coat of arms from the Prince of Wales supports both a lion and a unicorn with their tongues extended, for instance. More than likely, this tongue position represents sex magic, fornicating with fallen angels.
As we peel back the layers of this chilling historical narrative, we are reminded that the hidden boundary between myth and reality can blur, especially during the darkest nights of winter. The legend of Krampus serves as a historical admonition, a historical reminder that the holiday season is not merely about festivities, but also about mysterious entities that may have walked the earth in ages past and who still may be active to this very day. I want to thank you all for watching this video, and until next time, God bless you all.